If you're thinking about retaking the LSAT, it's time to choose a test date, buckle down, and get to work. Hey, what's up everybody? Steve Schwartz here from LSAT Unplugged, joining you today to help you figure out your next steps after the June LSAT score release earlier today. Before I get into it, I wanted to let you know that I've put together a free easy LSAT cheat sheet linked below this video to help you jumpstart your LSAT prep. So take a moment, get your copy today. Now, June LSAT score release earlier today. I hope that you crushed it. If you did, congrats, that's awesome. Take a couple days off, you deserve it. Then switch gears, focus on your application essays. However, if you didn't hit your goal score, if you're thinking about retaking the LSAT, I wanted to take some time in this video to help you figure out next steps. Of course, there are several LSAT test dates ahead of us just this calendar year. We have August, September, October, and November. You can take any of those LSATs and still apply early enough this cycle. Now, I'd imagine that many of you are considering either the August LSAT or the September LSAT, since those are the next two upcoming LSAT test dates. We have the August LSAT about 6 weeks away. Then we have the September LSAT about 2.5 months away, both fairly decent options. However, 6 weeks isn't a ton of time, so I really want you to consider, have you made the most of the last couple weeks since the June LSAT administration, and what do your next 6 weeks look like? 6 weeks, about 42 days, will that be enough time for you to achieve your LSAT score goal? Or would you significantly benefit from having an additional 4 weeks to study, taking it then instead around September 8th or September 9th. Another important consideration is that the August LSAT is the first LSAT that will be administered by Prometric rather than by ProctorU. It's also the first LSAT that will be administered either from home on your own device, or you will have the option to take it in person at a Prometric testing center. I don't love the August LSAT for the simple reason that it will be the first one administered by Prometric rather than by ProctorU. There may be some kinks to work out, some hiccups, since it'll be their first time ever administering the LSAT. If I think back to when ProctorU first administered the LSAT in May 2020 at the beginning of the pandemic, there were a number of proctor-related issues because the proctors simply weren't that knowledgeable about the unique LSAT test day rules, like, for example, the fact that you are allowed to use scratch paper on the LSAT. Of course, they did work out those kinks, and the June 2020 LSAT and subsequent administrations went much better, but I do worry that there will be some similar problems with the August LSAT being administered by Prometric, and so you may probably be better off taking it in September instead, after they've had the chance to properly educate their proctors on the unique LSAT test day rules. In other words, don't be the guinea pig on the August LSAT. Let them make the mistakes on other test takers, and then you benefit when you take it in September instead. Plus, you get the benefit of those additional 4 weeks to study. And you take the September LSAT, you get your score back a few weeks later in late September. You can still apply very early in the admission cycle, and you still have the October or November LSATs available to you in case, for some reason, the September LSAT is not the one where you hit your LSAT score goals. You then still even have a couple weeks or even a couple months to work on your application essays, personal statement, diversity statement, optional essays, addenda, resume, and such. I also want you to take a moment to think about, if you are retaking the LSAT, what will you do differently the next time around? Is there a resource you could have used but didn't? Is there a review methodology that you could have adopted but didn't? Were you just taking practice test after practice test and measuring your results, hoping for some magic breakthrough, when in reality, you should have slowed down and been a bit more deliberate about your prep? Were you trying to go it alone with self-study or using free videos and explanations on forums and such, rather than getting a more structured program? So take some time to think about, what would you benefit from doing differently going forward? At LSAT Unplugged, we have a number of ways we can support you, whether it's through our live online classes via Zoom, on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. Check out the links below this video to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd love to help you out. But regardless of which LSAT prep methodology you adopt, I do recommend adding structure into the mix rather than simply going through exam after exam after exam. I have a 5-part LSAT prep framework that I use with my students called the LASER approach to LSAT prep. LASER is an acronym standing for Learning, Accuracy, Sections, Exams, and Review, and it is the underlying structure of all of my LSAT study plans, regardless of your LSAT prep timeline. You can adopt this if you have a 6-week plan going forward for August, a 2.5-month plan going forward for September, or even 3.5 months or 4.5 months going forward for October or November. But whatever you do, don't just jump into the exam phase of the process. Take the time to slow down and also adopt learning, accuracy, sections, and most importantly, review. I find that students don't spend enough time reviewing their mistakes in depth, and that's certainly something I can help you out with. I have the Socratic review method framework that I use with my students. Of course, we talk about it a lot on YouTube. I've mentioned this plenty in my previous videos, so search the channel for more. And of course, there's much more in my courses. Anyway, folks, that's all for now. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please do me a favor, like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps with that YouTube algorithm, and I really do appreciate it. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.